Hi everyone, thanks for watching. Today I'm going to show you how to make a super fun, personalized potholder as a gift for your teacher. I'll be using SCL, sure cuts a lot, to design a cheerful quote, then cutting the heat transfer vinyl with Cricut Design Space, and finally pressing it onto the potholder using a mini heat press. Let's get started! I type the text in separate parts so I can give each word its own personality with a unique font. This way, the design becomes playful and truly personal. I'm lining up the text nice and straight first, so I can easily play around with different fonts afterwards. This way, it's easy to select each part and try out different fonts until it looks just right. By playing with different fonts, your design not only gets a fun and cheerful feel, but you can also intentionally highlight certain words. Words like teacher or super fun really stand out this way, making the message even more personal and impactful. It brings your design to life and gives it a unique touch. Exactly what you want for a heartfelt gift. What I really love about this program is how easy it is to organize your fonts. You can add your most used fonts to your favorites. Super handy if you have a consistent style. Even better, the program automatically remembers which fonts you've used in your current project. So no more endless scrolling. You can quickly get back to that perfect style you just applied. You can align your text neatly here, but that only works if everything is typed in a single text box. Since I entered each piece of text separately, I use the individual alignment tools to make sure everything lines up nicely. To add some extra flair to the design, I'm adding a few fun elements using the trace function. I found a silhouette of kitchen utensils online, like a spatula and whisk, and now I'm converting it into a cuttable file. Using the break apart function, I separate the elements from each other. The downside is that the whisk also gets broken into individual pieces. I fix this by first ungrouping everything. Then, I merge the separate parts of the whisk silhouette into one solid shape. After that, I use the back minus front function, which removes the top layer like a stencil from the background, giving the design the perfect shape for cutting. Now I can place the elements wherever I want. For the rolling pin, I'm using a different one because the first one looked a bit off. To cut my design to the exact size, I first create a colored rectangle with the same dimensions as the potholder. This acts as a background or reference frame, so I can easily gauge how large the design should be. That way, I can see at a glance if everything is nicely proportioned. To make it even more personal, I added a rolling pin with the teacher's name on it. This will go on the back of the potholder. Don't forget to weld your text before cutting. If you don't, all the letters will be cut separately, including overlapping parts. By welding the text together, you ensure it becomes one single piece and everything stays nicely connected during pressing. In sign cutting with my Cricut, I need to use Design Space. If you're using a scan and cut machine, you can export an FCM file directly from SCL. Because I didn't weld the design, everything is now overlapping and messy. No worries, we'll just ungroup everything and reorder it. Here, I align everything neatly again and group it so it cuts exactly like this. If I don't, Design Space will place the pieces randomly on the mat. In Design Space, you use the attach function to keep everything together. When working with heat transfer vinyl, HTV, you always need to mirror your design. You do this by flipping it in Design Space. However, Design Space now has a feature that automatically mirrors your design when you select HTV material. You can also turn this feature off if you want. If you need multiple copies, you can easily set the quantity here. That way, you don't have to duplicate your design manually. Here you can also adjust the placement of your design on the mat. As you can see, once you select Heat Transfer Vinyl, HTV, Design Space prompts you to mirror your design. You can turn off the green toggle if you've already mirrored it yourself. I'm turning it off now because I already flipped the design. Now we're ready to cut with the machine. This part is sped up since the machine takes about 2 to 3 minutes to cut. These are the pot holders we're going to use. You can simply buy any pot holders from the store. I'm using holographic white heat transfer vinyl here. I didn't have any instructions for it, so things went a bit wrong. I could have left it out, but mistakes happen to me too. When you place your vinyl on the mat, the shiny side, the carrier sheet, needs to be face down on the mat. The mat side should be facing up. I use a roller to firmly press the vinyl onto the mat. This is a diamond painting roller that I bought for just €1. My mat doesn't stick very well anymore, so I also use some purple painter's tape to keep the vinyl in place. The vinyl is now cut, and you can clearly see where the design is. To avoid wasting too much vinyl, I trim around the design. Remove the excess vinyl, and then you can press your design onto the pot holder using a heat press or mini hand press. I use a lint roller to remove any dust and lint from the pot holder before pressing. Always pre-press the fabric for a few seconds. This removes any moisture from the material and helps the vinyl adhere better. This is still the vinyl that didn't go well earlier. I always use white parchment paper over my designs because brown parchment paper can cause a brownish yellow discoloration. His carrier sheet isn't sticky, so it was already hard to position the vinyl. In hindsight, I also pressed it too hot and for too long. As you can see, it's completely melted onto the carrier sheet. I removed the carrier sheet and pressed it again with parchment paper to warm it up. Luckily, I was able to peel it off the pot holder using a spatula. In the meantime, I've recut and weeded everything using regular white heat transfer vinyl. Press it firmly for about 10 to 15 seconds all over. I always check if the texture of the fabric shows through the vinyl. That's how I know it's properly pressed. As you can see, if it's not fully adhered yet, simply press it again, but for a shorter time. Now, just the name on the back, and we have a beautiful gift for the teacher. And that's it. It's that simple to make a personal gift that any teacher will love. If you have questions or want to see more creative projects like this, let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you won't miss my next video. See you next time.